Hello, welcome to the sixth in this series of Digital Twin Talks looking at the interconnected digital twin. I'm Tom Hughes, the delivery lead of the Digital Twin Hub and the facilitator for this Twin Talk series. Today I'm introducing Tom Henderson from TechUK. Tom is the Programme Manager for Smarter UK, Smart Cities and IoT, and lead TechUK's cross-sector digital twin working group. The working group critically analyses the regulatory, investment and policy frameworks that underpins digital twin adoption in the UK, striving to ensure that future models are human-centred, inclusive and resilient. Tom also works to ensure that smart systems, technologies and solutions are an integral part of city strategies across the UK by leading TechUK's Smart Cities and Communities group. Additionally, Tom closely supports TechUK's Climate Change Strategy and Resiliency Group and manages TechUK's Climate Risk and Resilience Technology Task Force. Before I hand over to Tom, just one piece of housekeeping. As with all the Digital Twin talks, Tom, myself, and other members of the Digital Hub core team will be on the Digital Twin Hub from 10:30 AM on Tuesday for a live discussion. Please bring your thoughts, your questions and challenges to the Hub to continue the discussion. Over to you, Tom.
Hi there, and thanks for the introduction. Today I'm going to be talking about sustainable human-centred growth across the UK's digital twin ecosystem and touching on some of the recent and ongoing work conducted by TechUK's cross-market digital twin working group. It's been really great to see the Digital Twin Hub coming into fruition, so I'm really looking forward to your questions in the following session. And if you have any questions around the content I present today, then please feel free to get in touch. We're always looking to expand the scope and focus of our work in this area, so we'd be delighted to hear from you. To provide some context on TechUK, who we are, what we do, TechUK is the UK's foremost trade association for the technology sector. So we represent upwards of 830 different technology companies across the spectrum of size. So from small-scale startups to SMEs, which are our main constituent part, and right through to the major technology companies that are shaping the world around us. So the Microsoft, Amazon, Googles, and Facebooks of the world. Our members stem from a wide range of different markets and disciplines, from quantum technology to cloud computing, cybersecurity to environmental monitoring, defence, healthcare, financial services. We bring thought leaders and experts together from across those different sectors and really think about how we can examine technologies and how they can deliver a better future for our people, economy, society and planet. Delving a little bit deeper into what that actually means in practicality. So our activity involves working with government, education providers and employers to build a future focused skills and talent supply chain so that this provides everyone with an opportunity to participate in the digitising world. We're also working across sectors to build a smarter state that improves the wealth and well-being of all citizens through the application of smart technology. So really thinking about the societal impact of technologies and their deployment. Thirdly, we're also thinking about working with businesses and stakeholder communities to develop effective policy and regulatory solutions that promote the effective and transformative adoption of digital. And then finally, we play a role in articulating the vital role that technology can play in helping to address the current climate emergency. And that's going to be a really key theme that I try and draw out today and apply to our work on digital twins. In terms of our strategic priorities, so there are a few. So as I mentioned before, we're really thinking about how we can contribute to building a smarter state, how we can expand skills and opportunities for the future, and how we can put the UK at the heart of the digital economy. We're also thinking about the underpinning innovation infrastructure that enables us to realise certain outcomes. So thinking about driving innovation investment in the digitalised economy, and then, as I mentioned before, protecting the planet and ensuring a safe and secure digital world. So really resilience at the core of what we do. In terms of what we've been looking at in developing a digital twin programme of work, we've set up a TechUK specific digital twin working group, and this formed in early Q1 of 2020. And the digital twin working group has really been established by TechUK to critically analyse the different regulatory investment and policy frameworks that will enable the UK's digital twin ecosystem to flourish. The digital twin sets the strategic direction of TechUK's engagement work in this area, And it's supported by 4 voluntary delivery groups that focus on developing a reference architecture and integration guidance for digital twins. So really thinking about those the different components that are needed to make up a digital twin and how they might integrate with commercial activities. We're also thinking about developing a taxonomy for different digital twin characteristics. So really breaking down the different characteristics of digital twins and splitting these up into categories that enable key decision makers to understand how digital twins might apply to their respective commercial entities. And then 2 other voluntary groups looking at cross-sector engagement. So really kind of bringing this transdisciplinary cross-market focus into everything we do. And then also thinking about the future and further kind of exogenous effects that could have a bearing on the trajectory of the ecosystem in the years to come. And ultimately thinking about how we can prepare to address those challenges which might be in the years ahead. The Digital Twin Working Group, as I say, has been really designed as a transdisciplinary cross-market group. And this is out of recognition of variety across the ecosystem. Within the group, we have a diverse range of different suppliers, owners, operators, and advisors, as you will have seen on the previous slide. And this enables us to think about different commercial considerations related to the adoption and deployment of digital twins. These can be, I guess, broken up into 5 key areas. So firstly, we're thinking about the purpose of a digital twin and what commercial incentives are driving demand for digital twins, and ultimately how they can be used to cope with potential futures, current states, or even to keep records of historical outcomes. We're then thinking about commercial considerations related to digital twins on different spatial scales. So really thinking about the commercial viability of deploying digital twins from individual assets to processes and right through to systems and systems of systems, and thinking about the implications on computational resources and cost ultimately of building digital twins across different spatial scales. Thirdly, we're thinking about temporality. So we're really looking here at how digital twins and different digital twins can de-risk and accelerate innovation across different stages of asset and system life cycles. So from prototyping to controlling and operating systems right through to asset systems decommissioning. We're thinking about what the different incentives are and what the different integration guidance will need for business owners and operators to deploy digital twins at scale. Penultimately, then, we're looking at the implications of different approaches to modelling. So really here thinking about how we can develop evidence on the efficacy of different approaches to digital twin modelling. So from traditional models to geospatial and geometric modelling, and even right through to those based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. We want to identify which are the most appropriate for particular business problems and societal challenges that we face today. And then finally, and potentially most importantly within the context of this debate on the integration of digital twins, we're thinking about how we can connect up digital twins and share data across organisations and geographies. And crucially on this last point, I think we know that joining digital twins together is hard, and that doing so will require trusted, secure and resilient data sharing mechanisms. But we also will need to make a strong investment case for digital twinning and build a set of business cases that demonstrates how sharing information externally across those multiple stakeholder groups can actually deliver tangible value that flows back to the investor. And we think that both of those activities will require a massively parallel, non-linear and mission-oriented effort. And so bringing that into the context, at TechUK, we think that the binding force underpinning the development of these effective data sharing mechanisms and this ultimately portfolio of commercially viable integrated digital twins could be this mission of rapid decarbonisation and climate resilience building. As governments around the world are beginning to adopt net zero targets and material financial risks associated with failing to adhere to environmental targets are beginning to emerge, industry really needs to think about finding innovative ways of mitigating these risks and demonstrating that their contribution to realising structural change is having an impact. And with this in mind, we're really keen to support the CDPB in building up its digital twin supplier network and in helping stakeholders and key decision makers to understand the embedded carbon cost of different technical arrays. So here our strength really lies in being able to explore climate risks with specific market segments and feed this directly into the analysis that government and our own digital twins working group is looking at. Similarly, I guess on the flip side, we're keen to help capture and promote eye-catching examples of digital twins that directly reduce the emissions output of polluting assets, processes, or systems. And this means exploring their potential horizontal application across different markets. So, this dimension of our work really enables us to provide targeted evidence-based recommendations and ultimately to build citizen trust in digital twinning, which we think is going to be key in sustaining long-term buy-in and triggering innovation across different problem domains and time horizons in other areas like cyber resilience or public health. We also think that orienting the early development of scaled digital twins around net zero emissions and climate resilience building challenges will enhance the legitimacy of the UK when participating in international computational leadership networks, which we really see as key. And we really think that we need to begin to expand those computational leadership networks through actually thinking about how we can begin to cross-fertilize actual data, models, software and hardware across borders. And I think that this digital twin project, a climate-oriented digital twin project, could be enormously important in helping to attract inward investment and in helping the UK to make the most of rich global trade in urban technology. But then longer term, also in expanding the UK's soft power and moral authority in the field of climate risk and resilience, which we know is obviously under threat as we stand. And then finally, I just wanted to run you through a little bit briefly about TechUK's upcoming activity. So we're really at the moment looking to build up our case study repository from across our membership and putting to and we're looking at putting together a report on building a business case for digital twins. So really tying in, what are the investment factors, what are the commercial considerations we need to bring in order to deploy a digital twin at scale, and ultimately to integrate those digital twins with other digital twins. Secondly, we're also thinking about, running an event series on exploring digital twin deployment and convergence opportunities across different sectors, markets and problem domains. So at the moment, we're focusing on the commercial application of digital twins to the UK's infrastructure. So digital twins driving innovation in energy, water, mobility, things like that. But then longer term, we're going to be thinking about other areas as well. So the legal dynamics of digital twins. So thinking about IP pressures and how they have an impact on the business model of a digital twin. But then also thinking about convergence with other areas in tech markets. So immersive technologies, for example, and what that might mean for the collaborative nature of digital twinning in the future. Thirdly, we're also thinking about exploring the possibility of building a net zero themed digital twin challenge. So really bringing together our different supplier networks to understand how we can begin to demonstrate the UK's digital twin capabilities at upcoming global climate events like COP26. And I think, as I mentioned before, this will be really key in, again, pushing out the UK as a world leader in this space, but also in contributing at a local level to our own emissions outputs targets. And then finally, we're going to be looking at developing a response to the CWB's information management framework and also using our evidence-based taxonomy and reference architecture that I discussed before as a basis to provide targeted recommendations into government and across different stakeholder networks. And so just finally to say, if anyone is interested in engaging in this work moving forward, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. We're always looking to expand our network of interaction with different markets and different technology communities. So if you are interested in the work, please don't hesitate to get in touch. And I look forward to your questions in the ensuing session. Thank you.